Alright, I'm Ross and this will be an epic camera battle between iPhone 17 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro and Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Which will be the best in terms of camera, photos and video recording? Let me know down in the comments and stay tuned till the end. Alright, 4K 30 FPS video recording with the main sensor of the three devices, which are Pixel 10 Pro, iPhone 17 Pro and in the middle is S25 Ultra. We will test of course the HDR by going like now from sunny to shadowy places, and also we will test the microphones because there is a lot of noise around me. Buildings here are built and cars are passing, so noise isolation should be tested. I will switch constantly the microphones between the three devices so we can test better it. Also stabilization will be tested too, because right now I will start running and I'm holding the three devices on a tripod, not running, so in that way we can better test the stabilization of the three devices. Of course I will start rotating and start lens switching of the devices just right now, and in that way I can point somewhere and start zooming in and out. I will start running again without me in front of the camera so we can better test the stabilization. And now I will put on a tripod devices here and we'll start switching the lenses. Now we are on a tripod 1x, so now let's go to 0.5 on the iPhone, 0.6 on Samsung and 0.5 on the Pixel 10 Pro. Now all of the three are using ultra wide, so let's start now switching from ultra wide to 1x and 1x on the Pixel. Now the next step or the next sensor on the iPhone is 4x, so I will go directly 4x. So and in that way we can test also the smoothness of lens switching. Let me just adjust my tripod. Okay, now this is 4x on the iPhone, 3x on Samsung because 3x is the next lens, and 5x on the Pixel. Let me rotate to that crane, and it's hard to adjust them because camera rays are positioned differently for every device. So 4x for the iPhone, 3x for Samsung and 5x for the Pixel. Now let's go 5x for the Samsung, and it is 5x now. Here is the crane, and now let's move to 8x is the next step on the iPhone. I will try to go 8x on every of them. This is around, this is 8x on Samsung. Let's go on the iPhone, on the Pixel, sorry, at 8x on the Pixel. So all of the three now are 8x until we are recording 4K 30 FPS. Now I think it's time to go maximum. So this is 20x on the Pixel, this is 20 on the Galaxy, and this is 24 for the iPhone. Let me adjust a little bit. And now they are 24 iPhone, 20 on the Galaxy and 20 on the Pixel. Let's go directly to 1x and you can check the smoothness too. So this is, we just cover all the lenses. Alright, now all of the three are recording 4K 60 FPS, and we can better test the smoothness and the CPU power in 4K 60 FPS because if we start running or shaking the tripod, probably Tensor G5 on the Pixel is not so powerful, and maybe we can see some stutters, lags and something. And also keep in mind, the only device which can't record 8K is the iPhone. Samsung and Pixel can record 8K 30 FPS, 4K 30 FPS video recording with the front cameras of the three devices. Again, from shadow to sun, just to test the HDR. And keep in mind the following: sky is clear, no clouds at all, so any artifacts in the sky is a problem with the camera. Here, the only device which can switch something, but this is just a software, not a hardware lenses, is the Pixel. Until you are recording, you can go, now it's 1x, but you can go to 1.4x, and now I think it's equal to the others. iPhone is a little bit wider, but almost identical. Alright, this is so-called cinematic video on the iPhone, which is 4K 30 FPS. Portrait video on Samsung, again 4K 30 FPS, and it's just a blur mode on the Pixel, but it is only 1080p, again 30 FPS, and in that way we should have nice blur bokeh effect around me, and I should be isolated from the background. But is it really that the case? Let me know down in the comments, and let's start running so we can test and do the maximum of this portrait video. Alright, 4K 30 FPS video recording in night conditions. We have lots of street lights, so we can check also the lens flare. I will start running now to test the stabilization too at night conditions. Enough running, and let's rotate the cameras. Cars are passing, and also in that way we can test the microphones too, which of them is better recorded the audio. Let me know down in the comments. I'm just walking now, but at that moment I'm start running, and now this is important because stabilization is very important and it's a big part of video recording. Look at these street lights. Which of them is handling better? From what I can see on the viewfinder, the iPhone is doing the better and the fastest job of focusing on the street light. Here we have some greenery part, which is very important too. It should be green, not yellow, not brown. Put it on a tripod, and you start switching. This is the ultra wide for the iPhone. It is 0.5, 0.6 for the Galaxy, and 0.5 for the Pixel 10 Pro. Now let's go further. 2x, 2x and 2x. Let's go for the max zoom. I will point there around that old house, and it is 20 for the Pixel. Now it's 20x. Remember, we are recording 4K 30 FPS. It's 20 for the Galaxy 2. Now we have both phones, Galaxy and Pixel 20x. Let's go now. With the iPhone, it can go up to 24. Let me just fix the position. So the iPhone is 24. The other two can go maximum up to 20x. And now it's selfie time. 4K 30 FPS again for the three. From what I can see on the viewfinder, the best one is coming from the iPhone, but I cannot be sure until I see on my computer. But you know, iPhone has a new feature. But let's first test the stabilization. I'm running now. and from here Galaxy can do nothing, but Pixel can go a little bit closer or a little bit wider, and the iPhone can do nothing again until it's recording. So you should do everything before you start recording. Okay guys, let's check some photos from the three devices. On the left side again is iPhone 17 Pro, in the middle is S25 Ultra, and on the right side is Pixel 10 Pro. You can see here on the this info that it's written 17 Pro here. The resolution, you can see that the resolution of the iPhone 17 Pro is different because it is taking pictures by default 24 megapixel and the others are 12 megapixel and 12.5 for the Galaxy. So you can see here the info and the date pictures are taken, and the time too. You can see they are taken at the exact same time. So let's start. First, an interesting shot using the ultra wide camera. You can see the iPhone here in the shadows is crushed. You can see here on these shadows the iPhone is completely crushed, and or not completely crushed, it's a little bit darker but not completely crushed. Let's check it here what happened. And the most visible when you zoom in this tree shadow is the picture coming from Pixel 10 Pro for sure. And let's check some other details which are, for example, here in that stone flower, and you can see the most grainy picture is coming from the Galaxy and the Pixel. The most cleaner picture to me is coming from the iPhone. Even the Samsung upgraded their ultra wide sensor and it is 50 megapixel, here it is 2, but these 24 megapixels which iPhone is shooting by default, you can see the difference in reality. This is the same shot, the same picture in the same place, but this time we are using 1x camera, and this should be the best coming from the three devices, because this is mostly everyone is taking pictures 1x and its main camera. Now let's see the colors first. You can see again we have that yellowish tint here on that stone, which is white and probably grayish, but definitely not yellow. And what we can do now, again let's zoom here in that tree so we can compare the three pictures, and the most detailed and the most not crushed picture is coming from Pixel. Definitely I prefer here the picture coming from the Pixel, because you can see when you zoom in you can still recognize the trees and every greenery coming from the tree, and here Galaxy completely crushed the tree shadows. And here on the iPhone even we have 24 megapixel picture. We can still recognize something, it's not as bad as on the Galaxy. We have some reddish tint here coming from Pixel. I'm not sure why, but it is still here yellowish tint from the Galaxy, and probably the most close to reality picture is coming from the iPhone. This is something I try to zoom and try all the phones to be equal. That's why I put here the Samsung Galaxy on 3x, which is the first telephoto lens we are using on the Galaxy, and the Pixel here is 2x and the iPhone is 2x2, which is cropped from the main sensor, and Galaxy is 3x, which is already using its first telephoto sensor. And probably if we zoom here a little bit you can see, yes, the most detailed picture is coming from the Galaxy because it's using a real telephoto, not a crop.
and this is not even debatable. So the best picture here in that position, in this zoom range between 1x and 5 or 4x for the iPhone, probably Samsung will be the best because it has a range in between which is 3x. This picture is 4x for the iPhone and 5x for Galaxy and Pixel. And here they are using their telephoto sensor already, and now we can see some yellowish tint here on the iPhone and even reddish. I am not sure why, but you can see here on that stone. Let's zoom a little bit just to compare them. And when I zoom in, to be honest, the best looking one is coming from Pixel. The closer to reality, the most detailed. You can see here the Galaxy is trying somehow to smoothen everything, but the Pixel is probably here the best. iPhone is something I really don't like, and this is the first time I can see inconsistency in colors when you switch between lenses on the iPhone. Let's zoom on somewhere else here, for example that area, because this will be our zoomed picture for the next situation. And what we can see here we have some AI already started on the Pixel. You can see it's trying to smoothen here, and Galaxy is probably the best looking one, probably it. And here the iPhone has starting to fall a little bit. Again, same place, but this time we are using 8x. Why 8x? Because iPhone and Apple told us that they have like a 8x like telephoto camera. I don't know what is this. Keep in mind, this time I'm holding the devices in my hands and they are not on a tripod. So what we have here on 8x, and you can clearly see that the iPhone has the most recognizable sign here. The others they are not good at all. The iPhone sign is the most recognizable. This is a zoom shot, 40x zoom shot, which is an interesting picture. This is the absolute maximum for the iPhone, and this time for the first year we have 40x zoom range for the iPhones. Before that they were 24, but now we have 40x. This is to be equal, it is 40x again on the Galaxy and on the Pixel. You can see Pixel is just trying to represent something which is really I don't know what is this, but this is complete fake. Galaxy is smooth on everything, and still the most readable picture here in that scenario is coming from the iPhone. This is still 40x on the iPhone because this is the complete maximum, and this is 100x on the Samsung and Pixel. Pixel is doing a great job except for the sign, because the sign is in Bulgarian. Probably it is not recognizing Bulgarian, but you can see it's complete fake. The box is looking perfectly, but it's complete fake, and here it's a mess. This is because the devices are not on a tripod. Alright guys, now this time devices are on a tripod. This is the ultra wide camera, and this is a shot from the three devices. We have here some yellowish tint on the tiles coming from the iPhone. I'm not sure why. The most darker image is coming from the Samsung, and here again we have here a reddish, and here we have a yellowish tint. I am not sure, or probably this time Pixel is the most close to reality. Let's zoom a little bit in that car, for example, and see what we have here. Again, these 24 megapixels are doing their job, and you can see The less grainy picture is coming from the iPhone. The most grainy is coming from the Galaxy, and the Pixel is doing a good job considering the fact it is and this picture is taken by me by mistake from the Galaxy with 16:9 aspect ratio, but I think this is not a real problem, because let's zoom somewhere else, for example here in that tree, and we can see which of them is crushing the shadows. Again, the best picture in terms of shadows is coming from the Pixel. This is a picture coming from the main sensor of the three devices. Let's zoom here in that area and we'll see which of them is more recognizable. Again, this is the Pixel. When we have shadows, always the Pixel is doing the best job. You can see, keep in mind, this time the devices are on a tripod. Alright, this is something different this time. We have from the iPhone, we have a zoom range of 4x and we have 3x for these two devices. So the iPhone now is zoom at 4x, which is it's using now its telephoto sensor. The Samsung is using its telephoto sensor 2, which is the first one, 3x, and the Pixel is just cropped from the main sensor because its first telephoto sensor is starting from 5x. And which of them is doing the best job? Let's just compare them on exact same position. Yes, expected Pixel is complete grain mess, and this is completely normal because this is just a crop. The Galaxy on its own it's not looking good. Keep in mind these here, these branches of this bush, we have a small wind in that scenario. That's why I just taken this picture with a purpose, because you can see the shutter lock on the Galaxy, and the iPhone completely freezes the frame. This time this is 5x on the Pixel, 5x on the Galaxy, and this is 5x on the iPhone 2. And if we zoom, now the Galaxy and Pixel are using their main telephoto sensor. Let's zoom again here on that area, and this time the Galaxy is almost doing a good job, but to me the better one, because we can see we have some shakiness from the wind here in these branches, and again the Galaxy is trying to smoothen because of the shutter lock on its camera, and to me Pixel is freezing the shot perfectly. And this is a macro shot coming from the three devices, and the iPhone just can go closer to the object than the other two. And if we zoom a little bit more here on that area, you can see the Pixel is starting to grain everything, but the iPhone is still looking good because it's going closest to the object. Closely to the object is, so the iPhone this year I'm giving credit for this macro shot because it can go, you can just put the phone in front of the object. Now it's time for some night shots. So in these night shots you can see because of the car, you can see this is ultra wide camera by the way, and you can see iPhone has some, it's not looking good at all, and we have that hue and these artifacts around all the lights. Every device is handling the light in a different way, but I think probably the Pixel is doing the better job because you can still recognize where is the street light. The others you cannot do this, and the most bright image is coming from the Pixel. Keep in mind the exposure time is automatic for every device. This is 1x, and this is with the main sensor of the three devices. Lens covers should be clear on every device, but still we have some artifacts here coming from Pixel. But so we have something interesting to test here. Let's zoom on that area of that street light just to check it. And you can see what Pixel is doing. You can see the light bulb inside the street light, which is only the Pixel can do this. So the best shot to me is coming here from the Pixel, the most brighter image. Yes, probably these devices are on a tripod in this situation. Keep in mind that. Okay, here I try to put every device on a 3x, but the Galaxy now it is using its telephoto sensor already, but this time the best one, the iPhone is handling the best here the street lights. Yes, I think so. The iPhone is handling the best here this street light, and Galaxy 2. Yes, Galaxy is doing a good job too, and Pixel is losing details on that picture, but still the most bright picture is coming from the Pixel. I don't like here that area on the Galaxy on every image. Just it's not looking good. It's too dark. I just don't like it. Alright, this is 4x on the iPhone, 5x on the Galaxy, and 5x on the Pixel. Again, the best picture definitely coming from the Pixel, just taking more light. Probably it's adjusting automatically this night shot to be more brighter, the best one, but I prefer it. I really like it. Galaxy and the iPhone here is just the worst scenario. It's smudges, and it's just bad. It's just bad. I don't like it. On the Galaxy it's in the middle position, but the best one is coming from the Pixel. The most brighter and most visible picture is here on Pixel, definitely. Okay, now here we are 8x, which is 8x like telephoto zoom, as Tim Cook said. But which one is the best? Of course the Pixel. Again, is just the Pixel is taking more time to snap the shot, but a lot more light is coming to the sensor, and you can clearly see that. Now this is the absolute maximum for the iPhone, which is 40x. Here is the Galaxy 40x, and here is the Pixel. You can see, yes, AI kicks in, but it's look good. It's look good for a night shot. 40x definitely looking good. And this is 100x complete maximum, and you can see when Pixel recognize something like this number on the car plate, it's just looking unbelievable for 100x. Here this is complete mess, and Galaxy is still doing a good job, but when Pixel recognize it correctly, and probably Google will improve that with software updates, but it's just looking unbelievable for 100x night shot. Alright guys, this is again a portrait shot coming from the three devices. This is 1x portrait shot, and let's zoom and check. We have some hue here on the iPhone. We have a grain here on the Galaxy, and let's check the Pixel. The Pixel is the one I prefer. This time even probably it's cut a little bit here from my ear. Yes, definitely it's cut this part of my ear, but still the shot is looking good for 1x shot. Let's check here my watch. And the most visible again is coming from the Pixel. And I really like the shots coming from the Pixel. And the iPhone, you can see the details on my t-shirt are probably the best ones are coming from the iPhone. Now this is a different scenario. Here the iPhone is 4x, which is already using its telephoto sensor for taking a portrait. Galaxy is 3x and Pixel is 3x again, but Pixel here is just a crop. The most accurate colors are coming from the iPhone, definitely. Just look at my skin tone. The Galaxy is very yellowish and the Pixel is very reddish. The best one is the iPhone for sure. Let's check the edge detection again. Pixel here is cutting my ear. Probably I don't need this part of my ear, but when you go for the 4x portrait shot on the iPhone, it's just the best. The best shot is definitely coming from the iPhone. It's 4x peaked. Again, Pixel can't make portrait shot using its telephoto sensor. Alright guys, these shots are with a big resolution. Here we have 48 megapixel for the iPhone, and you can see from the image size we have a 50 megapixel from the Galaxy and we have a 50 megapixel from Pixel. Now we can just zoom in to see which one is doing a better job, and you can see the iPhone is start to fall apart here because of this graininess and not looking good at all. Samsung is something I can't say what's really happened, what's that kind of grain for 50 megapixel photo. And here the Pixel again, it has some grain, but it's not as bad as the other two. And we can see the Galaxy here has again some hue on that part of the image. And if we zoom on a different area, here for example, this is a harsh shot because we have sun, shades and everything. Just look at the Pixel image. It's the most recognizable. iPhone is not doing a good job, and the Galaxy is even cut that part of the image. I'm not sure why, but Galaxy can take 200 megapixel shots, and I will just show you now this shot from the Galaxy. Now it's almost 50 megabytes, and this shot is 200 megapixel from the Galaxy. Let's zoom again on this part of the image, and again it's not looking good. Even it is using 200 megapixels. I just don't know why. But let's go for this sign again. You can even read the sign on a Pixel, but not on the Galaxy, which is 4 times this 50 megapixel resolution. So Galaxy definitely needs optimization here for the main sensor. Okay guys, for the end we have an interesting shot here. So this is in night conditions, you can see, and we have some fountain here, and now we can compare the shutter lock, and you can see with the help of the AI, Samsung is trying to smoothen the water here and everything because of its slow shutter, and shutter lock is present. And you can see the iPhone, even if the image is not the most clear, the Galaxy here on that part is doing a great job. But if we zoom here, the iPhone completely frees the frame. Just look at these water drops everywhere. Samsung is trying to smoothen everything, and the Pixel is doing very good job again. I really like it. You can see the water here on the Galaxy is just complete fake. But all of the 3 images are looking very good. I can't say we have here a clear winner, but they are looking very good. So if you buy any of these 3 devices, you will not make a mistake for sure. these are the best, one of the best on the market right now. But if we speak for the images, I really prefer the color look of the Pixel images, and the Pixel is handling the shadow areas the best from the three. Guys, don't forget, if you like this video, it took me a lot of work, so don't forget to subscribe my channel, like my other videos, and of course, have a nice day.